back again, or for the first time, I will turn the music down a little bit. Welcome to Talk to the Hand Reviews. So, I'm both a reviews lady. I'd love it if you were to subscribe or to like this video or whatever. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you care about what I have to talk about, and I'm going to get right into it. Today I have something very fresh, very new that I really like. It is Francis Kurkdjian 724. Now this is something that I really like. I think it is fresh. I think it is, well, I actually have a lot to say about it. But my other question for you today is it whack, or is it tacky, or is it dumb, or is it not even legit to review off of a sample? I know a lot of fragrance reviewers, the fragrance reviewer community, they differ. Some of them really say, no, you have to have the full bottle, and some say, no, it's okay, I can get a bunch of samples and review like that. Hey, I'll tell you what, my husband bought me Baccarat Rouge 540, and I haven't reviewed it yet, but this sample of Maison Francis Kurkdjian 724 came with it. So let's just go ahead and spray it on. I have worn it a few times, and I do have some things to say about it. Oh, I love this. It is so unusual too for it's a fragrance that states that it's you know, shared or unisex, but it's one of those that, like, you know, I find a lot of, since shared fragrances have become so popular, I find a lot of them just kind of seem like men's fragrances that women will just decide to wear, you know, but not this. This, I think, it leans more feminine. However, it doesn't smell like CK1, but in the same way that CK1 is truly, I always felt CK1 was truly a genderless fragrance. A man or a woman could wear it and you really wouldn't be like, that smells manly or that smells feminine. This is another one of those. It does lean more feminine, I think, maybe some people might think, because it's fresh and there's, I believe it's a special kind of bergamot that's in it. But I want to talk about it a little bit because I really love it. And when I went looking to research it, I found there were people who were like mad. They're mad at Francis Kurkdjian because they feel that this one smells too much like some of his other hits, I guess. But I don't know those other fragrances, so I can't really corroborate or say that's true or that's not true. I can't really say one or the other, but I can say that I love this, and I might end up getting it, but I'm not usually real spendy with fragrances or anything. I'm really careful with money most of the time, even though I love luxury items. But this fragrance, I don't know, it might get me to pony up the cash, boy, pony it up. You know you want this perfume, give me the money. You know, I might do that. And I really do like Francis Kurkdjian because he created one of my favorite fragrances, which is Elizabeth Arden green tea. Did you know that? Yeah, when I went looking online just to find what people thought, a lot of people, they're so funny. People get so dang rude so fast. Like, where they're like, what's the point of having a niche perfume house if you're just gonna rehash your old stuff? And now it's like he's a hack, and I don't remember them saying that he was a hack, but like, this man owes you nothing, folks. I mean, I'm sorry if you disagree, but he's you know, a perfume creating star and has been for a little bit. And I personally, because when I used Elizabeth Arden green tea at a time in my life when I wasn't depressed, I was just facing some issues. I don't really get depressed that much. I actually really don't get depressed. I still really enjoy life even if I'm bumming out. But I was wearing another. I went away. I did this gig that I worked in another country, and in the other country, there's management that they hired from, like, I don't know, somewhere, and this manager was really of a mind that he had to just tell you, do this, do that, and I don't know, it just really affected me and kind of bummed me up. And I bought a bottle of Arden green tea, and I'm not kidding you, from that day on, like, it just, and every time I would spray it in the room, in the hotel room I was living in, every time I would spray it, it would just lift my spirits. And I think that Francis Kurkdjian has something special. He has something divine about him. If he could do that, that's something that I think. And I think this fragrance is kind of like that too. It's quite uplifting. It's the citrus is really comes through. So I know you want to know. And I know you want to know. Bo. What's it smell like? What's it smell like? Well, it came out in 2022. That was last year. So this is one of the newest fragrances I've ever reviewed. According to our friends over at good old Fragrantica, 128 people thought it smelled like Aqua Universalis by MFK, Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And I don't know, but that's what people think. In fact, people were complaining that it smells a lot like Aqua Universalis. So I believe them. It probably does smell a lot like it. I don't know, but I haven't smelled that one. I've smelled this one. Okay, 73 people thought it was like Blanche from Byredo. 73 people thought it was like Blanche from Byredo. 33 people felt it was like 754 by Francis Kurkdjian, Maison Francis Kurkdjian, Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And 30 people felt it was like Toy 2 from Moschino. Toy 2 from Moschino. And 13 people felt it was like Clean Warm Cotton from, I believe, Clean is the company that created it. Clean Warm Cotton. Okay. Now my feelings are, I love it. It's a true shared fragrance. It's not like a men's fragrance. It's not too much like a women's fragrance. I think it's just really got a universal appeal, truthfully. Let's see. Okay. This fragrance, I'm sure people are going to think is more like a spring and summer fragrance, because it's the kind of thing that you're really glad on a hot day you're wearing something like that, because every time you smell it, it just repeats freshness, and you can do it, and you know, shade in the sun. You're in the sun, but you smell this fragrance. Something about it is fresh and shady and just really nice. And I really like, you know, have you ever been over to the MFK website? It's pretty neat because I love the way they romance the fragrance. They really tell you things about it. And I'll read you the blurb for 724. In the light of a pure sky rising over the city ascends the elegant silhouette of 724. To the tempo of Bergamot from Calabria, a crystalline white flower accord and sensual musks. Not too musky. Not that musky at all, which is nice, because musk, it's, I don't know, it tends to pull down. This is very uplifting. This is uplifting, like a flag waving in the fresh air by the beach. You're walking along by the beach, you're just having a nice day, and you just look up and you feel the breeze on your body, and you look and you see maybe sails on that's not exactly what, okay, I didn't finish, sorry. Sorry, I get distracted. It was always on my report cards. Easily distracted. Okay. This eau de parfum captures what all megalopolises, there's a word you don't hear often, what all megalopolises have in common. that vibrant energy resonating in unison like a 724 beats per minute pulsation. 724 beats per minute? Well, that calls for a dance. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ah, I love it. I love it, baby. I love it, baby. Are you gonna dance? Are you gonna dance? Are you gonna dance now? Okay, I got something else. Okay, now this is a serious discussion. People in the fragrance community talk a lot about, is it okay to review off a sample? And I will tell you something. Because I worked in cosmetics and fragrance for about a 10-year period, off and on in the late 80s and the mid 90s. Well, I left in like the early 90s. I'm not even sure anymore. It was like, I don't know. It must have been the early 90s because there's some things I did in the mid 90s that I thought I was working in cosmetics, fragrance, but I did. I worked about a 10-year period. Anyways, when people come up and ask you for samples and they didn't buy anything, or when you're working behind the counter or whatever, I never minded giving out samples. I was always really generous because I just like that. I like to be, oh, sure, here you go, here's this, you know, and they were usually really nice about it. But when you ask for them at the stores and things, unless you bought something or unless you're, you know, they're, what we were told back then is don't give those samples out. Think of it as a selling tool. So, you know, and they would send you boxes or a few, depending upon the launch or whatever, the relaunch or whatever they wanted you to, and it would maybe have 100 samples in it. Sometimes more, but, you know, 100 samples doesn't go that far. So I would say that getting samples for free from people in the store that you go up and ask, it's a way that people get them, but it's a little bit, it puts a little bit of attention on those people, those salespeople, because they really are, they have goals, they have sales goals, they have things that they have to do, and they may love to give you all the samples, but they need to use them. There's like not that much incentive, you know, sometimes to help the sale, and sometimes you gotta help the sale. If you've ever worked in sales, you know, it's a thing. But what I want to tell you, okay, do I think it's legit to review of a sample? Nowadays, I see the samples, they almost always come with this sprayer on top. Hi! Oh! It's a little bit easier to get the full knowledge than when they used to just come in a little vial with a little thing you pull out and you put it on your skin or your clothes or whatever. But nowadays, they're all this kind. Now, that's quite a bit of fragrance in there. I think that a person is going to get a really good idea of what to expect from this fragrance. So I absolutely think it's fine for people to review from a sample, as long as it's, you know, I wouldn't say those kind though that come out that aren't actual juice, those kinds that are, you know, like just a little strip that you might get in a magazine or something and put it out. Now, I don't think you can get the idea from that. There's a lot going on there. There's glues, there's stuff to interfere with it. But a sample like this, you can absolutely be able to get an idea of it, have it on your skin, wear it a few times, wear it for probably, I probably wear this for a month at least if I want to wear it every day. But I'll tell you, that takes me to the other point. You'll get a really good idea from a sample, certainly enough to review. However, when I worked in cosmetics and fragrance and I wore certain fragrances every day or a lot, or, you know, when you have your signature fragrance that you wear all the time, you really get to know that fragrance in a way that it would be difficult for anyone to tell you. Like any reviewer, unless they really knew the fragrance for a long time, they couldn't tell you the subtle nuances. They couldn't tell you who liked it and who didn't. Like, I like to tell the story about how even though I worked in cosmetics and fragrance for a while, there was one fragrance that stood out in terms of compliments from men, and not just compliments, not compliments. People asking me in the weirdest, desperate way, people I didn't know, what is that you're wearing? What is that? And it was Guerlain Samsara. And even though I represented lots of fragrances, I mean, you don't even need to hear that. Lots and lots. I worked at lots of different jobs in cosmetics and fragrance, and I got to know lots of fragrance. But I wouldn't have known that Samsara had that effect on men if I didn't wear it a lot. If I didn't have have bottles of it and the body creams, and if I didn't have all that, I wouldn't have had a chance to know it that intimately. So you can't know a fragrance intimately from a sample. You can't know it, how it makes you feel over a period of time, or you can't, but nobody can tell you that really, except for a person who really loves a fragrance they've been wearing a long time. Even reviewers with full bottles of this and that, what are the chances? Like, I don't wear fragrance every day, and even if I did wear fragrance every day, of all the fragrances I have, I mean, it's really difficult to wear one and distinguish one if you're going to be wearing a different one the next day. So basically, what I want to say about that is, yes, you can get an idea of what it's like from a sample. But if you're looking for deeper knowledge, you'll only learn that from a full bottle. And it's not a reviewer's fault. Same thing for them. Unless if they didn't buy this fragrance and wear it every day for, you know, a few months at least, or years, they're not going to be able to tell you anything more than a person who just reviews off a sample. This is the first time I've ever reviewed off a sample. By the way, here's the bottle. Maison Francis Kurkdjian. You don't want to see those nails. These nails look better. It's really pretty. But you know how their bottles are. They all look the same with slight differences. But yeah. If you buy, well, I shouldn't say this, they might change their policies, but Maison Francis Kurkdjian, if you buy fragrances, they'll give you usually 2 samples, and you can choose the samples. So there you go. This is the first time I've ever reviewed off a sample, but there is the controversy about it, and I thought, well, I could just weigh my 2 cents in about it and just say what I feel, because I really wanted to review this because I really love it. And yeah. So that's about it for this video. I hope you liked it. Are you doing anything fun this week? Are you going somewhere? Are you going to go out and dance? Are you going to stay at home and dance? Perhaps dance in the living room with babies? Holding up babies while they watch, I don't know, something fun on TV, and put on the techno and watch the babies dance. Help the babies dance. Are you dancing with kittens? Are you dancing? I had a cat that used to let me dance with him. He would let me hold him like this, and he up on a table. Anyways, okay, thanks for watching. I hope you come back again. I'll turn the music. I hope to see you next time. And I know we're nearing the end of summer. I have my little dress here, my little summery dress. I figured I better wear this summery dress before it's fall, and it's gonna be fall before too long. So anyways, I hope you have an awesome week, and I hope to see you next time. I'm Both Reviews Lady, signing out.